How are you doing today? Welcome to Mark Talk. I'm your host, Mark Levy, and I'm unbelievably excited to be here tonight with you for a special late night edition. Well, not late night, but later than usual edition of Mark Talk. We're continuing with that what I've been doing recently, where we are talking to specific games with their hosts, their creators, their production teams, etc. But of course, if you like what you see, please press the thumbs up. Please subscribe. Please share it to your friends. Whatever you want to do. That's what we're here, making content, making you feel, keeping this community tight and get to know people. What's really exciting for me, though, is this is a game that I've been working on for 6 seasons now, I think. I don't know. It doesn't matter. I'm really excited. You're here for our episode about Pyramid Scheme. And I'm going to bring out the host and creator immediately right now, Ian Dembling. How are you, Ian?
Hello, Mark. How are you?
I am fucking fantastic. I'm going to bring in the next member of our team, timekeeper and all-around badass, awesome lady, Ashley Keenan.
Woo! Hey.
The man with the
live
plan,
studio audience,
the king of the entertainment, Yorel Aviles. And the queen of the spreadsheet, where this game would not look at all like it does if it wasn't for the one, the only, Molly Gallant.
Hi, y'all. Woo.
And I will say as well, this is just a portion of some of the amazing production members we have had through the seasons of this really fantastic show. But obviously, we got some of the best and the brightest here as well.
Yeah, because a couple of them are actually playing on Saturday. I know Laura's playing, and I know Jules will be there, and Budgie will be there, and there's a lot of crazy things that are happening for this game.
People have work right now. Some of them are actually great enough to win our game, so they have to be in Winners at More, so we get to just talk about them right now,
Yeah. Oh, and also talk about people that are in Winners at War that are also part of the production team. Ivan Ortega, who is hopefully staying safe in Texas right now because we care about him and want everyone to be safe right now in the wintry conditions of Texas. So let's talk about Pyramid Scheme a little bit. I mean, I know Ian's got
Are you asking me about my pyramid scheme?
Yeah, I am asking about your pyramid scheme. Oh my God, he's got the mug.
Well,
too.
I might just tell you about it.
The merch is coming. It looks like the merch is coming really soon.
I got this for Valentine's Day from my girlfriend who doesn't participate in any of this stuff. So she's freaking awesome. I think she's watching right now. Shout out to Amy. But I just think it's so funny that this is kind of divulged into a whole other part of my life now that we don't have too much else going on in quarantine, and I'm just absolutely loving it. This is easily one of the best things that has come out of being a part of any of these games, is getting a chance to show, all the crazy things inside my head and make other people kind of, dance around to all these crazy strategies that we have in mind that we put together. And I really can't do it. I say it all the time, but I can't do it without this incredible team as well.
It's we're all just selling it.
It's the silence
Not
for me.
after that. Oh my God! Come on, guys! I'm just getting started.
We were
love you too, Ian.
no way.
Yeah.
So are you asking me about my pyramid scheme? Is that what's happening, Mark?
Yes. I'm asking about the game. How did it start? I know the game has gone through a lot of evolution since I first played in season 3, but talk about it.
Back in mid-September, there was a lot of us had played the game Sequester online, which is the game that was hosted by Audrey Middleton, who was on Big Brother. And one of the things that was talked about is, hey, if you send a twist idea to Audrey or to the team, they might be able to try it in one of the games. And I was playing around, on a Zoom call with some friends and thought of this twist that I figured, we'd give it a shot and see how it goes. So it would start off with one person having 1 vote, the next person having 2 votes, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera, until the last person has however many votes of people who are playing. And a lot of people got very confused and felt like it was very complicated. It felt like there was, a lot of twisty parts of it of trying to, maneuver how many votes you're having. And they're just it's really hard to be able to look at all of this. So I said, just give it a try. And at a certain point, people were like, I don't know if they would ever take this twist. So why don't you just make your own game? out of it. And I was like, I'd be more than happy to try and host a game. And this was before a lot of people were trying to host games. So I was like, I'll give it a shot. I'll throw out, into, a couple group chats. Hey, will anybody just come play a couple rounds of this game? And I was really honored that people were so interested in the concept of this game. And we can go over a little bit of how it's played. I know that Molly has a spreadsheet ready to go.
Always.
Yes. So basically, and I can explain the general concept of the game. The idea is every single person will have an opportunity to vote, but you have to vote publicly. Unlike in most of all these games where you submit your vote privately, these votes are all public. You cannot hide. You must call out your targets in front of everybody. So the first person starts off at the bottom of the pyramid with 1 vote. The next person will get 2 votes. The next person will get 3 votes, etc., etc. Now, you don't have to put all of your votes on the same person. You can spread out your votes. However, the one catch is that when you pass the power to somebody, you cannot pass the power to anybody that you vote for, and anybody you vote for cannot, anybody who you pass the power to cannot vote for you back. So, Molly, if you want to pull up that spreadsheet.
Absolutely.
We're going to play a game right now. Who did you get from the audience to play our game?
Us playing now.
Nick Chan's in there. And
Yeah.
We'll get to that, Nick. We'll get to that.
Let's see. Can you guys see this?
Not yet.
No.
Oh, no. It should be. It says it's sharing a window.
Oh, wait, never mind. I see it. It's my fault because it's on the second screen. There we go.
Awesome.
Look
Can you
at
guys see that now?
Yes. But it looks like there's a few people that are not in this call.
There we go.
Is Gabby still here? Gabby, are you still on this Zoom call? Or I'm sorry, not on this Zoom call. Not that. Are you still in the YouTube stream? We called you out. Yes. Gabby, will you play with us?
why
All right.
am I on?
Not that. Would anybody like to be the bottom of the pyramid first?
I think you should be the bottom.
Oh, stop it. That's boring, but fine.
I'll bottom of the pyramid.
Yes, go ahead,
Big
Molly.
one for the team. All right, so I'll be the bottom of the pyramid, so I'll go ahead and put a 1 in there. And then, you know what? I'm going to put, actually, throwback to season 2. I'm going to put all my votes on you, my 1 vote. And I'm going to pass the power to, you know what, Ian, I'm tired of you always being at the bottom, so I'm going to pass it to Mark.
Okay.
I love this.
Decide where to vote next.
All right. So I'm going to give both my votes to Ian like I should and pass it to Yorel.
Oh my god, I have been waiting for this for so many. Oh my god, I cannot wait. So I'm gonna put all my votes on Ian.
Okay.
And I know you're gonna be and now you're gonna be on the top, but you know what? I voted for you and I'm happy. I'm happy about it. So I'm gonna pass the power to Ashley.
No, not this. Okay. I have 4 votes to give out. Let's see. How about I put them all 4 on Molly? And we'll
How
pass
you feeling?
we'll pass to Ian.
Oh, no, not
Okay.
that.
Well, the good news is because Gabby will be at the top of the pyramid, but I'm the one passing it to her, they can't vote for me. So the good news is I'm actually pretty in the clear here. But I'm going to go ahead and put 3 votes onto Mark and 2 votes onto Yarel.
Okay.
So that you can see that we can spread out our votes.
Yeah.
Gabby, we all get to campaign to you for 30 seconds. I'm safe, so I don't really care.
Gabby, I've been working
That-
through this whole game.
Jeffy, I was trying to make a nice move by sparing Ian for once, and now I get put in this position for trying to help Ian. I feel like it would behoove you to keep me around so Ian, who also was helpful to you, we can form a 3-person alliance going forward and work on getting out the other 2 that remain.
All right, shut up.
Gabby,
Mute,
I have
shut
ice
up.
cream.
No, mute. No, shut up.
I'm just stating a very honest fact.
Gabby, you now have 6 votes to give out. All on Ashley, not this.
Not this indeed.
So if we were playing the game, Ashley would be eliminated and we'd continue on. Now, of course, we add in twists and turns and all this fun, crazy stuff. And if you would like to be a part of one of our games, we've actually changed around the way in which we're getting people to play our games. We have moved into just having a general interest form. If you sign up, you're going to be considered for any of our very, very many games that we're going to have out there in season 2. It's a recruit-only process just because I think that I've noticed that a lot of people will often just sign up with a lot of their friends, and then a lot of people will try to sign up a lot for a bunch of different games, and then they just don't get picked because of various things as far as either time differences or, promising certain people opportunities. So instead what we're doing is we're just having everybody be able to sign up in a row. Oh, look at you putting it on all these different channels, Mark. You're so great. Oh, great. Love this. Just put your name down. It's a, kind of a get to know you form. You can always go back and change it. So there's a way in which you can edit it if you, change your availability, if there's anybody that you're not comfortable playing a game with. If maybe you do decide, hey, I actually would be okay with playing a shorter game or a longer game, you can check those boxes off. So that's just a little bit of what we do here at Pyramid Scheme, which we've had 12 amazing seasons now. And coming up next will be our Winners at War game. Wow.
How have we got this far so fast?
So are the only people that have been involved in every season pretty much you and Ashley and Molly? Or
I guess technically I would be the only one who's been involved in every season, just because this started off, like I said, on a Zoom call. We had 5 people who played the very first time, and I consider it a season because I kind of just feel like, okay, well, if they were part of the inaugural craziness of Pyramid Scheme, I'll let them all be a part of it, and I'll shout out all those people who were in that call. So that was myself, Nick Chan, JD White. Stop this. Myself, Nick Chan, JD White, Ivan Ortega, and Chris Thomas. Several of which have had an opportunity to win our game. And that's something I really like about my game too, is there's an opportunity to really show a different side of your strategy. And a great little thing that I get to, brag about is half of the people who have won our game, that was their first ever win in any game out there at all. Which I think is really exciting and really cool. And they get to say, have like that little bit of pride for this game as well, because all except me. So they voted me out first of that game.
But
that's why they said that, it's boring to get me out.
The thing is, the prize of the first one out, though, in Pyramid Scheme Season 1 is you host the rest of the series.
Yeah, exactly. Why would I not? I guess if anybody has questions in the chat or so yeah, season 2 was maybe 10 minutes after season 1, and to Nick Chan's credit, I will say that we ended up trying to bring a whole bunch of other people in to try it out, and one of the people that Nick brought in was Molly. And Molly, tell me about your experience kind of seeing this for the first time and then having me reach out to you and be like, hey, let's do more than just have one Zoom call playing this game.
Yeah, that was really cool to be reached out to by Nick. Nick made me feel so special in that moment. I was like, I get to hang out on the Zoom call with all these people that I think are really cool. Like, I'm so excited about this. And then they all voted me out. So no, I'm kidding. It didn't take me too long to get out because I targeted Abby the Stallion, and that that got me out pretty fast. I learned not to do that. But I think I just remember the game that we played, all of the votes were in the chat. And I remember one of the reasons I got out was because I don't know, I give myself a little bit of strategic chops. I'm a little confident in that regard. And so I was actually keeping track of the votes, and I was getting annoyed because everybody was like, Ian, wait, how many votes do I have? Or how many votes is this? And how many, whatever. And at that point, I had kind of gotten a little bit of a reputation for knowing how to use spreadsheets via an intro video of all things. And so I was like, Ian, do you want help with this? Or I don't actually remember. It might have been you who asked me, but somehow we got into a conversation about, hey, how can we turn this into a game where it's a little bit more easy to follow along with what's going on, just because it's so hard to keep track of votes in a Zoom chat. It'd be like, Ashley puts one vote here and then this person, and it was just so hard. And so it was really cool. I was so excited to get to do a project like my spreadsheet, which then we share the screen and has been kind of a not a staple necessarily, but a tool that we've used every game since I think season 3 or 4.
It was definitely season 3. It was definitely season 3 for sure.
Okay, yeah, it was super cool, and it's I'm super happy about it because it's allowed me to be part of this. I think the best prod team in the entire Zoom game community. So I was super excited when I was like, wait, I get to do this and be on prod. Like, that's so cool to me. And so, yeah, and now it's turned into something where we get to keep track of a lot of things on the spreadsheet. And I think it's just made it a lot easier for players to understand the rules and be able to keep track of games. And I think just making the baseline something that we can follow along with so easily, Ian, I hope has allowed you to feel like you can make up all these crazy different twists that maybe we wouldn't have experimented with if everything was just still in a Zoom chat. So it's been really great.
I have no fear at all that Molly can't keep up with everything that comes out in my brain, but I do fear about most other people. So that does say a lot about how much I do, have so much trust in Molly, and obviously so much of this game is part of the collaboration between, the two of us coming up with, how to make it graphically, visually look nice, but still make sure that there's strategic elements in the game without it making it too wacky. And then Molly always is the one who tells me, Ian, this is going to take way too long. I really want these people to stay on for that long. And sometimes the answer is yes, because we want to be able to make sure people are having at least an extended experience with the game and not out too early. Yeah. But at the same time, we don't want people to just be bored out of their minds by the end of it. So we're always working to find that balance. Yeah. I write a pretty extensive survey at the end of my games as well to try and truly get an understanding of how people were feeling when they're in the game, out of the game, etc. And so it's something that I take to heart, that I want to make sure that everybody's, as much as they can, having an enjoyable experience when playing the game.
Yeah.
Ian, if I can add, go ahead, Mark. I'm sorry.
It's okay. I was just going to say, because I know my first season was season 3, and that was an hour and 15 minutes. And then season 4 was 2 and change, I think. I'm not sure. I got out an hour and a half in, and I was the first juror. But it's a weird thing of how the game has gotten longer and longer, but still better and better.
It doesn't feel too long when you're in it too, because there's not. And because all the votes are public,
there's one season that felt very long.
Right, but because all the votes are public, everybody is actively doing something at all times, and it's not just here, let me wait until everybody calculates those votes, etc. Molly, you were going to say something.
I was just going to say, I think one of the things also that I love about the game so much is that, and one of the things that has allowed our prod team to work really well together is that I think we are pretty darn good at putting ourselves inside players' shoes, especially because we've all played the game at some point or another. So when Ian says, Molly, I know you think this is going to be too long, but trust me, this is worth it. I can put myself in the shoes of somebody who maybe has been an early boot in a game and can say, okay, yeah, I do appreciate this being longer. But we've also all been in games where it's oh, wait, this is actually taking way too long. So I feel like the prod team has really developed a good rapport and has really done a good job, because we've played so much, putting ourselves in the player's shoes and making a game that's tailored to the player experience. I think Ian's done a great job with that. I think Prod's done a great job with that. And the seasons just keep getting better and better, I think, as Pyramid Scheme has evolved. So it's really, really neat.
Yeah, I want to ask a question. What is your personal favorite season of Pyramid Scheme for everyone? For me, I'm going to say either the Food Pyramid or the Legends of the Hidden Temple one was really fun too, I thought.
I love both of those.
I'm also going to state season 3, because season 3 was incredible, and
Can I throw to Urel and Ashley and ask them their opinions?
I've seen almost every season except I think the Latinx one. It's hard to remember all of them, but I think I like the Feluca one. The
7.
That was one of my favorites, just because it was such a different theme, and we took different elements from our original and made it this way, and just kind of really evolved it a lot that season.
Well. My favorite season is season 8, not just because I play in that one. It was because the
third place team.
Third place team. Or it's just that the cast was so good, and everything that. It was a season that have returnees and have new people. I met new people and I play with people that I have never played before, and I have so much fun. This game let me be it's strategic for the first time. Like I have never felt more strategic in any game before. That's why I have so much fun because it's like a different part of me, and it's really really fun.
I want to give an extra shout out to Urel, and part of it is because I think, Urel watched as a viewer, right? Didn't know me, didn't know this game, didn't understand, all the inner workings of how this all kind of came to be, sat in on a call and just watched it, and then was just, I think you were just so enamored by the idea of it. And I was like, I got to get this guy in here somehow, some way. And I got you in. And I think that you did truly feel like, okay, I know how to hone my craft and make this happen. And then the way that you talked afterward and just felt so positive, regardless of how long that game in particular felt. And I think that was the one that we're all talking about, was like the 7-hour game. And I know that many other hosts have talked about this. Never cast more than 22 people in a game. It's just too much. But I still went to bed smiling that night, and I think it was mostly because of people like Urel and people like, I think Pranoy also sent me a really nice message afterward, just talking about like, thank you for allowing me to have like just a new experience and a different kind of, fun time. And I, as much as I love doing this for myself, because I just think that it's fun and wacky to be a game show host, I really want to do it for other people. I want other people to experience something that they really haven't and touch a really different part of their brain and their mind and their heart. When doing a game like this, I don't see any other games very similar to this at all, which is what I think is it makes it extra special.
If I can just add to, I think one of the things I love about it so much is the emphasis on strategy, because we play these games that are called social strategy, right? And so like you get to a final 2 in some of these other types of games, and it's like, well, who is the more social player and who is the more strategic player? And I think that sometimes those lines get really blurred a little bit. And so people who are sometimes strong social players feel like, okay, maybe I don't get the chance to be as strategic in these games, but Pyramid Scheme, there is a little bit of a social component, but strategy really rules the day. And I think it's given people who are really good social players kind of a confidence boost in saying, wait, I can be strategic too. And I have to think, how can I game this twist, or how can I game the pyramid scheme in order to really, oh my gosh, yes, help me math. Yes. But how can I game this? We love math at Pyramid Scheme. Ian doesn't, but the rest of us maybe do.
I don't.
I
don't like being called out for being wrong at math. That's
okay. Fair. But I think that's one of the strengths of Pyramid Scheme that makes it so different than all the other games. Is you come into it and you're like, wait, I can be strategic. I can figure out how to game this. I can play my advantages, and it gives you the opportunity to do something cool and feel like you have agency in the game. Whereas sometimes, and it doesn't really reward, I don't think, under the radar play a ton. So it's a different kind of game. And I think most people who play have that type of experience where they're like, wait, I really enjoyed doing something unique like this.
Yeah, in this game, you have to be strategic. Like, you have to. And that's really amazing because it puts every single person to find new things about themselves in games and, in general. Like, it's so good.
Well, and I think that's the fun part about it is can a social player do the strategic game? Can you challenge yourself and maybe you're more strategic than you thought, like Molly was saying. That's one of the most fun, I think, about that, because other ways you're like, oh, if I say this, will this make people mad? But no, this is like, if I put past this person, are they going to be mad?
Can we talk about some of our favorite social I guess specifically strategic moves that people have made, maybe either with an advantage or, some of their hidden votes or anything like that you guys particularly remember fondly?
There are 2 things I want to bring up. One of them is from the beta game, and it's a compliment to myself. Okay. But I will do that.
Careful with what you share.
All I was going to say is how I used my time when I got passed to me. Okay. Yeah,
I'll do it.
But I want to mention Khaled's 33 banked votes in season.
Yes, Khaled.
You guys saw me go, are you sure that's what you wanted? Because I knew how mad Dash was going to be.
Dash and Fairy together, I'm sure, were both very not happy at that moment, from what I've heard.
I was there like, oh. I was there.
I was
Oh,
the only people that knew about his bank votes were him, myself, and I think Ian, because I was in charge of bank votes. Oh, and Jules, because Jules helped with the bank votes too. But it was just
For
like
those who don't know what we're talking about, in many of a game, I use an advantage called banked votes, meaning that you can gain a whole bunch of votes that you can keep to yourself, and then at any point you can add them on to your total number. So I believe that Hullett only had 2 votes to give out at the final 4, and
That
then
sounds right,
added 33 more votes onto that because he had banked so many. So obviously that was a quite a crazy occurrence at that point. But yeah, I did love the idea of the twists in that game. And again, those people at the end, I'm just like, I'm so in shock. I'm like, somebody's gonna have to get out here. Someone's gonna have to get outplayed. And it was crazy to watch for sure. Anybody else?
Mine is from season 3. I think it was Tyler and Robin at the end, like the final 3 or 4.
Season 4, but yes.
Bravo was season 4,
yeah. 4. Sorry. They all blend together after so many. But I just remember that was the point where at the final 4, one of the most strategic points to get someone out that had been running the game had been made. I don't remember the details that much. I just remember it was impactful. If you remember the details,
I do remember it. So it was that game in particular was really, really fun and interesting. I didn't really know Tyler or Alec too much coming into that game. And then I had them both, come and play. I knew that they both knew each other. I didn't know whether or not everybody else really knew that they were very close. They ended up forming a very strong bond with Robin and with Nick Chan in that game. And look at Nick talking about it. They ended up turning on Nick. And then my thinking was, of course, get out Robin, right? And then, you end up having those 2 as the final 2. But part of Pyramid Scheme is that, the person who's in 3rd place gets to give, the majority of the votes. Because in jury, it also matters where you place in jury gives how you get a certain number of votes to vote for the winner. So Alec made sure that Tyler got the majority of votes to be able to vote for the winner, snaked his own best friend, and then Tyler ended up respecting the move, giving Alec the win. And I definitely think that in a sense, Robin was robbed. I know that Robin's a phenomenal player, right? Like, obviously, you see in every single game, Robin does a very, very good job. But I really hadn't seen that strategic side of Robin either. And that was where I remember messaging them privately saying, like, how impressed I was just about specifically how strategic their mind was in that game in particular.
If I could add,
games, yes.
Yeah, I maybe remember this one a little bit better because I played in it, but the Legends game with the pyramid scheme element, there was part of the strategy, and this is a shout out to, I think, a phenomenal winner, Julie Andrews here. Yes. Part of the strategy was you wanted to get votes because if the person, after the person was eliminated, the person that was the next highest votes got a pendant of life, which essentially acted as an immunity idol. But then so many people had immunity idols that you ended up just cascading down the pyramid until almost no one who had any votes could be eliminated, which was absolutely insane. And I think it was, I don't remember exactly there were a few rounds in there. I don't remember who played what, but it was cool to see the strategy change when, okay, wait a minute, I actually want to get a few votes because that means I can get a pendant, which can save myself or one of my allies. And I thought adding that immunity idol kind of challenge to it made it a really fun few rounds, I know, from a player perspective, and I think from a viewer perspective too.
And it's not just because you're in this call right now, Molly, but the 2 people who played that element of it best were you and Marcelo, right? You guys were on the Orange Iguanas together, and I think you both were like, I don't mind if you throw it on me. Every single round, Marcelo goes, just do what you got to do, which constantly kind of gave people enough feeling of like, okay, I can throw 1 vote on him. And then that got Marcelo to be the second highest in multiple occasions, which caused him to have a lot of those idols to be able to save himself in the future.
If I'm mistaken, there was a round where there was like 5 people that had idols and they played all like, I remember that, like towards the end, it was just like, I have an idol. You can't take me.
That was crazy.
We were in the prod chat going, regardless of what happens, Bethany is screwed here because every single other person has an idol except for Bethany.
We love you, Bethany.
Yeah. That was a fun one too. Go ahead.
I want to talk about the season 8 again. The twist when you can see the future in the game, and then if you like guess it correctly, then you're safe. And I want to talk about the way that Brian Farrello
Brian
used
Farrello.
that power. And
Yes.
I remember that power was really amazing because, example, when it was just 3 people, that's what saved Halep and Ferry to be in the top 2, and that's why I was eliminated because they used that power correctly. And then I think that beside them, me and Brian were the only ones that actually guessed our placements, and we like have the chance to single-handedly eliminate someone because we decide who was leaving because we were safe. And I remember the way that every single player strategized that power, and see that some of them work for them and to the others it didn't. Like, it was really, really amazing. And I don't want to say that I was good at it, but I'm really proud of that. Like, I'm really proud of the way I guessed the moment that I was gonna leave, and then I make the shock of like, okay, I'm gonna vote for myself, and everyone think that I was like self-evicting or something. Like,
It was
and
so
nope.
crazy to watch IRL. I was like, no. Sorry.
And then he survived 8 rounds after that, where, you know, as great as Brian Farrello did to save himself from that one round, he got out immediately afterward. So
Brian Farrelly is so good, honestly. Like, Brian Farrelly is really, really good. He's my rival and everything, but I love that man. Like, I love Brian so much.
We love a rival.
I especially loved the rivalry between him and Kels. Like, as soon as she realized that she was screwed at that point because he had saved himself, and she's like, no, she gave all of her votes for him to win, and then still put him at the bottom of the pyramid. Because she was that like just impressed, but also angry at him at the same time. The most recent season also had a lot of crazy rivalries, I will say. So our last one was double agents. Look at that, Julie in the chat. Hello. The last one that we played was double agents, where I brought 10 people back into the game and said, you can pick your partner. Anybody you want, as long as they've never played before. And so they brought in somebody new, but then they had to either choose, am I going to continue to work with this person all the way to the end, or am I going to eventually cut them? How is this going to all work? And there were a lot of groups that ended up forming together, little foursomes, and then people who tried to call them all out. And one person who I think really kind of changed up a lot of the narrative of the game was JD. And JD played such a different game from any game I've seen him play. And you know that JD's around in this community. Like, obviously, he was in the first game that I played in Sequester. So I know JD. I know that he waits his turn to speak. That is a big thing that he does very, very well. He didn't do that this time. He took charge. Every time he got to the top of the pyramid, he said, everybody stop talking. I want this person to talk right now, because if you don't talk right now, I'm taking you out of this game. And when they were so flabbergasted that someone was acting like that at the top of the pyramid, they got screwed because they didn't know what to say, you know? So I think that was one of the more dominant and impressive games. And it was so crazy to see like a full circle moment for JD being in, you know, the first season and then playing in 2 other ones and finally getting his opportunity by the end as well. Just got to commend JD for that. Yeah. We had a lot of Titans in that game. The number of times that Gia and Jeremy were targeted and then were the last pair remaining, insane.
If I'm not mistaken, JD was the very last minute addition too. And he was paired with Kimatina, who's not a small name in this community at all. And yeah,
that game was so fun with all like the not rivals, but the partners rivaling up, or like you're trying for a pair. It was just so fun to see how it meshed out. It was fun.
I was so sad that I was not able to play that, because that was like the perfect format for me and Miguel. Like, because we're like best friends, but we're actually rivals. Like, I hate that man. I'm just kidding.
Urel was cast for the game and then could not play because Puerto Rico has a number of power outages at many occasions, and we were very, very sad to see that.
It was hard, but I cannot wait to betray Miguel in a game. Like, I cannot wait. Like, I can actually not wait.
I love it. love it.
I was going to say too, I think season 10 from a strategic perspective was absolutely my favorite. I thought the idea that you could influence the pyramid without being known. I loved that secret identity stuff because so much of the game of Pyramid Scheme is about being out and like very public with your votes. So it was so cool to like, I don't know, see a little sneakiness in Pyramid Scheme. Like I loved that. I thought it was cool. And I had to be creative with the spreadsheet too. So of course I love that.
Yeah,
but
sure.
yeah,
That's right,
it was a great season.
Having people just constantly being like, who voted me out?
Yeah.
Who put votes on me? It was great. We had a lot of fun with that one.
I also remember the Heroes versus Villains one. It was two tribes and some people.
Oh, good and evil. Yeah.
Yeah.
God,
that was so good. I remember that was the game that I was like, I want to play this. Like, how I sign up, like, how can I play? Like, yes.
That was the second person that I wanted to shout out in this. Well, I guess two people I definitely want to shout out from Ka and Ra. One of them is specifically based on one of the craziest moves that I, as the host, still didn't understand what was about to happen. And then it happened. And that was the Brittany move taking out Molly in that game. That was wild. I gave an ability for people at any point that they could either add 5 votes to somebody or subtract 5 votes from themselves. Brittany chose before the round started to add 5 votes to Molly. Every single person was aiming towards a very specific person, Patrick, to try and take out of that game. Brittany got the top of the pyramid and everyone was like, yeah, just finish off Patrick. It makes total sense. Everyone was ready to go for Patrick. And she goes, I hope you see what I'm doing here, Patrick. I'm putting 10 votes on Molly. That did not mean Molly was going home because it still didn't make sense with the math. And then they realized Patrick, all he had to do was put 5 votes take 5 votes off of himself. And we put 5 more votes on Molly. Molly's the one eliminated from the game. And it was wild. And then she wasn't targeted after that.
No. But I will say who won that game, my secret duo, Jacob Sparks. So I was super proud of Sparks. And, you know, if I had to make self-sacrifice so he could get the victory, I'll take it.
And that game was also a big game changer game because we recognized that having all these public votes in jury is amazing. It's really fun and it changes the element of the game because you're looking for jury votes before the game is even over. But we have to have some sort of additional element because what happened was our extremely social and strategic beast in that game, Malcolm McDaniel, was getting all of the jury votes. He was rocking that game. Everybody wanted to give Malcolm this win. And unfortunately, by the end, there was no option except for Malcolm to win the game. And they were like, I mean, nobody can catch up. Does Malcolm just win automatically? And then they realized the only way that either Sparks or Brittany could win is by making sure that Malcolm was the 3rd place boot. And it was very heartbreaking, but we changed around the whole aspect of our game because of that.
Right.
That would never happen again. He's the top of my mind for game changers for sure.
I mean, there will be a really amazing 3rd place season that Urel and myself will be in.
And
Molly.
We need that.
Not Ashley. Definitely not Ian.
Someone has to do production.
I'll hang out with Dylan Hedda in the first Boots season.
Yeah, to be on production.
You'll be targeting me the entire time, and it's totally fine.
To be production on the game, you have to be 3rd place or your name be Ashley. Yeah,
That's it. There it is. Wasn't Budgie.
Mark, would you like to start talking about some of the people who have won our game and talk?
I would love to. Yeah.
Maybe certain things that we are thinking going into this Winners at War game.
Yeah, I think we should bring up that the player profiles.
Can you tell everybody when it's going to be right now while I set it up?
As of right now, I actually didn't make a banner about that right now and speak about it. It's going to be on Saturday at 8 p.m., February 20th at 8 p.m. As of right now, Eastern Standard Time. And it'll be actually on 3 different channels from what I'm aware of as of right now. And what's really cool about that is you can watch MarkTalk commentate, and I'll have a couple of people that played the game before, but you'll see some other things happening too, because there's a lot happening in this game.
I want to give a shout out to the 2 people who are going to be streaming our game. You can find it on Twitch. It's going to be both Brandon Wu and Eli, who was in our Latinx game as well. You guys can see the screen now, right? With all of these cast bios with talking about all of our past winners here.
Yeah.
Is
And,
Ivan
you'll see
extremely excited that his face is so up on YouTube right now?
But yeah, our first winner, Ivan Ortega.
So what I did actually, and can you guys can see it still, right? I'm moving it around a little bit, or no?
Yeah.
So see it? I gave every single person a comparison to a Survivor Winners at War contestant. And I'll let you guys try and figure out who you guys might think is Ivan's comparison to the Winners at War contestant.
I'm going to say Duel.
That is who I said. I said Yul Kwan. And the reason I say that is because obviously before going into Winners at War, Yul played his game, won his game, undisputed a great strategic player, and then kind of dropped off the face of things and then came back. And people were actually surprised, but also very, very excited that Yul was giving the game another shot. Ivan's doing something very similar. I mean, he understands how to succeed in this game. Clearly, as the first ever winner, he does know what it takes to be able to be on top. I would say the biggest weakness, though, is Ivan might not believe in himself as much as other people might believe in him. And I think that, going into this game, Ivan needs to realize that he knows how to strategically maneuver himself. Don't think that he doesn't have a shot in this game. Make sure that you take control, do as much as you can to be able to get one step forward. Anybody else want to say anything about Ivan?
I'm excited to see him play in a season that's going to have twists in it. As we all know, the first three winners never played in a season with any twists in it, even after they played before, if I'm not mistaken. So I'm excited to see him play the way that this season's going to go.
I think Ivan's also seen enough of the game evolve, though, so I think he'll be adaptable and know what Ian's mind might be. He does have the advantage of being the first winner to
imagine understanding my mind.
I said might.
Loving
I didn't say
its
it did.
icon.
I mean, I've gotten pretty close. It's a scary place.
Love it.
Yeah.
We can move on to Chris Thomas.
And
A face we have not seen in quite some time as well. Any guesses as to who I said CT is most like? I can't see YouTube chat either, so tell me if they're
Danny Boatwright. I'm throwing in a random person.
I'm going to say Ethan Zahn.
I know all these, so I can't guess.
Yeah, I forgot I told Molly all of these. I put him as Wendell.
Okay.
I think that everything CT says is hilarious. And I think that he also really knows how to bond with somebody when he's first meeting them. He also has a really, really great mind and really has great, allegiances to people that he's working with in a game. Like, that you're going to end up working with him and that he's going to ride for you hard in the game. Obviously, the biggest weakness, do people know who he is? Will they trust him even going in early on into this game? He does basically, kind of do his own thing within the community and then, kind of stops in from time to time. So this is going to be a very wonderful treat to see CT back in action. I'm assuming you guys are all excited to see him too.
Oh, very much so, yeah.
Yeah.
Sending my original season, so of course.
That's right.
Yep, absolutely.
We can move on now to Mr. Luke Goebel here.
The person
another one. I was so excited.
him.
I have not seen a reaction quite like Luke's when he got his first win in any game playing Pyramid Scheme, and I was so excited for him. Any guesses as to who I put Luke as?
Okay, someone loyal, but someone that's not afraid to make a move. I'd say I'm gonna keep saying Ethan Zahn.
Maybe Adam.
Oh yeah,
There's no question Luke is Adam Klein to me.
Yeah.
Like, he is so
There it is.
goofy. He takes himself, he doesn't take himself seriously, but he takes the game as something that is overall a very fun experience. He makes sure that even when he knows that he's possibly out the door, he's just having a good time with it. I've never seen him without a smile on his face throughout every single thing. And that is going to be an amazingly positive presence, keeping the energy up and, making sure that we're always going to be, rooting for him throughout the entire game. I'd say, he has been a loyal viewer as well of Pyramid Scheme. I'm seeing him in almost every single one of our games. I worry actually that he might have overanalyzed our game too much and might overthink things when maybe, other people haven't really seen every single one of these games. So maybe they're coming in without too much of a mindset in this game and he might overanalyze it. So what I'm going to say, Luke, is take a step back. You're okay. You're okay.
Tell him to have
Lucas-
a beer.
Yeah,
Have a beer. I think he will definitely take that offer.
I will say really quickly, Luke, like no tea or actually, I don't know colloquial phrases. So I'm just going to say, in all honesty, Luke is one of my favorite winners. I'm going to go out on a limb and say that he is one of my favorite. I think I love them all. Y'all have a special place in my heart, but watching Luke win, it was so cool to see. Like, he was so proud of himself for the way that he used his like strategic prowess. And I mean, I think all of us on Prod here are a bit of strategy nerds. And I think that this was a game that really played into his strengths and he really killed that game. Like, I never got the I got the impression that his win was so deserved. He took so much agency in the game that he won. And that was one of the games that I felt like just so proud of our winner. So yeah, I'm rooting for Luke. I'm officially a Luke stan.
The only thing more exciting than Luke's reaction to winning was Mark calling Luke the winner, because Luke, he was the third place. He got to say, "Luke, you're the winner."
Yeah,
Well, and also because it was between him and Tom, and who were the two people I was with the most throughout the whole game. And then I was like, I think Luke deserved it more from what I saw, and yeah.
Luke is an
Ashley, were you
amazing
gonna say
person
something?
and an amazing mind. Like,
I don't remember. Go ahead.
All righty, we have Alec Cortez.
My other winner, but I didn't crown him.
Any guesses? Think of a Survivor player who's willing to cut an ally.
Tyson.
No,
I
it
think
could be like
Tyson probably
Boston
would.
Rob or Ben Dreamer. No, not Ben.
But
Dreamer.
also, I'd say more. I don't know. I see a lot of similarities between Alec and Michelle Fitzgerald. To be honest,
Michelle.
I think that Michelle
okay.
is very direct. I think that she knows what she wants and she's able to sway things into making sure that it happens. And I have seen that with Alec in so many different games, past Pyramid Scheme, but especially in Pyramid Scheme, when he found his way to make sure that, he had a minority group, but still was able to make sure that they were the power players throughout the entire game. And then they were able to get to the end all together. And that's when he cut all of his friends to be able to make sure that he won the game. I think that there are a lot of similarities between him and Michelle. I think he's unassumingly strategic, but he's also, willing to make the moves that are needed in order to ensure the win. I also know that Alec has been one of the people who has waited the longest for this opportunity and has been very ready to try to go with Pyramid Scheme one more time. I am worried, I guess, about the idea that he could be one-track minded. And the only reason I say that, Alec, before you come for me, is because the last time I saw you when we were playing a game together was in Tyler's Elemental Shift game. And you were upset that I threw a vote on you, and I explained to you the full reason why, knowing that you wouldn't be going home, and you went to every single room trying to get me out of that game. And I said, Alex, stop.
Good move, Alec.
It's a terrible
Good move.
idea. No, because he went home. He went home. So
did
That
you.
was a good move.
no, I just stop it.
Good job, Alex.
That was the only reason that I said that about Alec. So try to keep an open mind through the game is my best suggestion for Alec. Anybody else have any thoughts? Obviously, Mark, you played the game. Any other memories of it?
Yeah, I mean, I know we were aligned enough because I didn't play that because I made it to I think 8th or 9th place that game, and I know we were working together, but it was one of my number ones in that game. But I'm always happy to get to see him play a game. He was fun in Banishment this week, playing sloppy, messy games, and I'm excited to see how that's going to work with this season of Pyramid Scheme.
Ready to move on to Chrissy?
Let's do it.
Chrissy.
What a game this one was. And I know and I love how she put in that her favorite moment was when she kept calling the pyramid a period.
Yeah.
She did too.
That was so funny.
I forgot about that. Oh my gosh.
I had forgotten until she mentioned it too. I loved it. It was so great. Any guess as to who I put for Chrissy?
Tyson?
Amber?
No. It was a name you
Natalie.
guys have said.
Natalie Anderson.
No, but I can see that comparison too.
Sophie?
Obviously, physical strength wise, I can see that for sure.
Oh yeah, Sophie would make sense too, actually.
I put Chrissy as Ethan Zahn.
Oh.
I said his name like 5 times.
I know. But what I said is social is her strength. However, she obviously was able to maneuver away strategically to get to the end. And when she's in a final 2, it's almost impossible not to vote for this girl, right? Like she has the most powerful speeches that she's able to use to be able to get her that win. I don't know if she's ever had a final 2 that she doesn't end up coming out on top. And I hope you just know this is all out of respect, Chrissy. Like I know that you maybe don't feel like you are as confident in yourself going in through the game. But then once you're at the end, I know how she knows how to sway it around to get herself that win. What I would say, again, like I said, the biggest thing I think she needs to know is that she needs to believe in herself. Also, don't be too predictable with your moves. Do something surprising is my best suggestion for Chrissy. Anybody else have any thoughts about Chrissy?
Without spoiling anything of the
so
season,
fun.
I'm so excited to see how she plays the season.
Yes, this will be.
This
I
is
would
what
say,
most excited.
Chrissy, power pose beforehand and get confident. Because you might be a little bit daunted at the beginning, but like you, I think more than other people, I think you have the gifts and talents and abilities to really play this twist well. And I'm excited to see what you can do with that.
And she's so good to be. Like, I cannot wait for this reactions, expressions. Like, she's so fun. Like, she's one of the most fun people that I know. Like, oh my God, I love Chrissy. I love Chrissy. I have to smile every single time I'm in a call with her or like watching her play. Like, she's so fun. Like,
And she's good energy and all that. Like, I'm really
Don't
excited.
be your enemy in a game is what I learned in Banishment All Stars. Like, she'll come for you. So, like, that's the fun side too.
Absolutely. I can't wait for a lot of people's reactions when they find out what we're doing as far as a twist in this game, but I wish that there was a way to just zoom in on certain people, and Chrissy's one of them.
No, I'm gonna have Chrissy like pinned. Like, I need her like in the big screen.
It's gonna be so lame when we no longer have something to hold over everybody.
It's terrible.
Yeah.
I will never
Jacob
forget.
Sparks. Oh, go ahead.
Yes.
I was just gonna state that, like,
Yes.
in my brain, Ashley's face and my face is just imposed when I think of the twist reveal. Like, that's all I get. Like,
Yeah, it's a good one.
I was going to pass out. I was like, what is this?
I wish you took a screenshot, honestly.
So this was, I asked for serious photos, and look where we have Jacob Sparks.
That's as serious
That
as you
is
get from
serious
Sparks. That is seriously Sparks.
Any guesses who I put Sparks down as?
I thought it was
Tyson.
gonna be
Tyson,
Adam.
Tyson.
I have Sparks as Tyson. This man is very, very funny, and knows how to not only be funny but work it strategically. I think there's no question about it, right? Very, very strategic. Obviously, phenomenal social player, but makes everybody laugh in the process. I mean, his laugh in general, infectious as hell.
Oh
my gosh, 100%. I play like Catan with him, and like he's making a move at you, like, and you laugh as you do it because he's so funny and charismatic.
Molly, anything you want to say? Because you were secret duos with him.
Yeah. Well, and I felt so honored when because he reached out to me and he's like, we need to be duos in this game. I'm like, I think I'm prodding it, but I'll ask Ian. And so we played together. I think what I genuinely love Sparks. He is without a doubt one of my favorite people in the community. And I think what his strength is, and I've seen this play out for him so well, is he respects his competition. He really respects the people he's playing with. And sometimes in my case, what he's done before is said, I respect you. I want you out. Or I respect you. I want to play with you because I know we can make moves. And then watch him get to a final 2 and he can recount everything that everybody else did because he got in the competition's head more than getting in his own head about what do my moves need to be. He knows the moves of everybody. Sorry if I'm painting a target. I don't think I'm painting a target on your back.
We're
you can
talking
handle
about
it if you
everybody's
are.
strengths. It's fine.
Yeah. But I think one thing, Sparks is one of my favorite people in the community because I've learned a lot from him. I watch him play and I'm like, oh my gosh, I need to do that. And I think, he will respect the people he's playing with as people and as players. And I think that that's his greatest strength going forward. I think a lot of people could learn a lot from watching how he plays these games, for sure.
One thing that I did write as far as something to keep in mind for Sparks is I think that he does a great job maintaining allies while still putting out somebody that, like you said, Molly, is his target. One thing that he has to watch out for is allowing his allies to give his enemies too much power. Because if I'm an ally, I'm thinking, well, I don't have to do the dirty work to get him out. I can just have somebody else do it. And that's one thing that I think would possibly be something that he would want to keep in mind going forward in this game.
Yeah,
it's a scary game for him, honestly. Yeah.
Like his energy, his light, like you wanna work with Sparks. Like I have played with Sparks. Sparks is the person that I have played the most in here. He was in my first sequester game. Like I have played so many times, and I met him in person. Like he's a light. He's a star. Like you don't have an idea how much I admire the positivity that this man make everyone around feel. Like it's just like it's overwhelming, but in a good way. Like it's so much positivity. Like laugh, like it's funny, happy, and you feel trust. Like it's just, oh my god, I can't be talking about Sparks all day. So
I know.
let's keep going.
And then the only other thing I do say, and I did write it down in this this status that I wrote, we've never had anybody who survived the bottom as much as Jacob Sparks has surved the bottom. And I think that would be something that potentially...
He was supposed to be my first ever sequester game with him.
Right. I know that, this is the type of game where one person can, cause your doom, and you piss off the wrong person as they're leaving that game, they might end up screwing things around for you. So just something to always keep in mind. But I think obviously he made it work the first time. So
Yeah.
All right. I know we're ready to talk about lore.
Lore.
One of my favorite production members.
The Queen.
I was so
Feluca season.
I was so unbelievably happy that Lore was willing to give this game a chance because she was such a big fan of the show until she got an opportunity. And in the first try, without it just didn't even seem like it was hard for her to be able to waltz to the end and then get the win. And I'd say, if Luke had the most crazy reaction to winning, I'd say Lore was the most stoic. It was so great. Any guesses who I said Lore was?
Natalie?
Sandra. Oh no.
Sophie.
I gave her under the radar Queen Sophie Clark. I do think that, obviously there's a lot of people who are pulling for Lore at this point, but I would say still comes in unassuming, comes in without the cutthroat energy, but still knows how to do that at the right moments. And then at that point, it's too late for that person. Every time she wanted to call out a specific target, she got that target out pretty single-handedly in a lot of moments, but obviously worked with that Feluca in a really strong way during that season. I wrote, can unite a team and then cut them loose. Reputation might be high, so on this second chance, that could spell trouble. So what I'd say is, exactly do what you did before, downplay any sort of, cutthroatiness, but then when it's the right moment, take your shot.
I wanted her to be Sandra because Sandra is the queen of Survivor and Lore is the queen of Fire Met Scheme. So thank you.
I think
you can make up your own later, Urel.
I think she's a really good shot at this way the season is going to be.
Agreed.
I'm very excited to see her play this style, considering she is one of our smarter players. And I'm not saying that other people aren't smart. I'm just saying that she's a very, very smart person. And this is a very smart person season.
One thing I think that Lore does really well is undersells her strategic mind. I don't know what I'm doing. Oh gosh, is that the right move? This or that. But full well knowing that, yes, I want this person gone. I'm going to play it off so I don't make a big threat on myself, which is amazing.
Correct me if I'm wrong too, but I don't think Lore wasted too much time when doing votes. She didn't really talk about, what she's doing or why she's doing it or make some sort of grand statement of any sort. She allowed other people to do that while she just made the move quickly and passed it on, right?
I stand that strategy. That's for sure.
It makes it a little bit. I like to hear people's thoughts and everything. Like I would probably do that, but you know, you kind of
It makes my job easy.
Yeah, exactly.
We should before we get further though, because I know one of us has to leave pretty soon, and
Yeah.
want to make sure that we get a chance to say bye to Molly and plug her correctly and everything.
Yeah. Mark, thank you so much for having us all on today. Thank you guys for including me. Pyramid Scheme is amazing, and I'm so glad that I get to be a part of it. I'm so looking forward to Winners at War. And really quick, before I leave, I do want to give a shout out to Ian and I had to ask a group of people in the community to help beta test this game. And the way that they helped and the way that they stepped in and just kind of put up with all of our shenanigans as we were trying to figure out how this crazy thing was going to work was fantastic. A lot of those people, 8-7, I'm talking to you. So thank you guys. 8-7, non-8-7, thank you guys so much for helping us beta test. We feel like because of you, we are ready for this game. And yeah, anybody in the community who needs help with spreadsheets of any type, let me know. I got you. I'm your girl. But yeah, guys,
don't steal her for too long.
Don't worry about that, Ian. But yeah, guys, come watch Pyramid Scheme. It is going to be a blast. Good luck to the remaining winners that we're about to talk about. And I will see you guys on the flip side.
See
you Saturday.
Bye.
Ready to keep going? Hold on.
Yeah, let's do it.
Why did it go back to Ivan? Oh no, it was the wrong one. Okay, hold on.
I don't know it. You're sharing the screen.
Yeah.
Listen, Ian.
Not this.
Not this. All right. Are we done with lore? Are we going to Khalid?
I'm so excited to see what Lore's friends say about her play this game. I'm just so excited.
She also, by the way, that was the season full of advantages, and she had very few and still was able to make it out, on top. I think that also shows so much of her ability. Like it is very much the way to figure out where everybody else's cards lie, and then figuring out how she can still just make it happen using all of the tools that she was given. Alrighty. What just happened? There we go. Hello,
Season 8, baby.
The 33 vote king.
All right, thoughts on who I put as Khalid?
Tony Blockers.
I don't think Tony.
Natalie.
I did do this one a little bit just simply based off of placements. Who has placed second and first in Survivor before?
Rob?
Queen Parvati Shallow. Oh yeah, Rob as well, but
and Natalie.
That were in that season.
No, I have to do this list again because we are not okay.
All right, fine. All of those people are combined. But I put him as Parvati. Arguably one of the best strategists we have seen play this game, and it's so much so that I literally had to send him a voice memo afterward. Both games, I think, talking about just how unbelievably astounded I was that he was able to take things that I was doing and then just really dominate strategically on both of those games. I mean, banking so many votes the second time around, and then the first time around, I mean, he was the one who was able to get certain partners in and then get other partners out. It was phenomenal. It was phenomenal. Yeah. But I think that he is coming in with all of these people knowing that he has the best record of a two-time player in Pyramid Scheme history. So how is he going to manage this? Will this be an issue for him? I'd say just simply, relax. don't take yourself too seriously, but also I'd say be wary. Because I don't know. I just personally, I'm thinking right now, right? Like you would be scared of somebody who has strategically kind of figured out a way to maneuver himself the way that Khalid has.
I know. I just talked to him the other day and I asked, are you excited for it? And he says, yeah, I'm really excited. I'm not nervous. I'm ready to just go see what Ian has to throw at me like he always does. So he's very excited to play. And, one thing I love about Khalid when he plays is he never seems stressed. he never seems like he's worried. He's just sitting back, relaxing, and doing the thing he does. Like, that's what I love about Khalid.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Is a player that I have admired since I get to the community and I start playing. Like I said this when I was the third place of that season, the best season or season. Thank you. Um, I admire him so much, and I see a lot of myself on him, and vice versa. That there was no way that like I'm overall I'm mad, and I honestly tried to make it a tie so Pranay make the decision because I can see the two people how good they were because Ferry is an amazing player and amazing person, but there's something about this amazing winner over here that I need to give him the win. I need it, and honestly, wait, I didn't give him. He won that game. Like he was a returning player. He was not supposed to get to the end because people like Dash, Ferry, Kels, Brian Farello, they were playing hard, and I never thought that he was gonna make it until the end, and then he get there, and there was no way I wouldn't give my votes, my win, and my heart to this beautiful person. Like there was no way. I love all these winners. What the hell is this? I didn't realize this.
Only one of them is going to be able to take the crown. It's so crazy,
Not
right?
this.
But I will say, going back to season 8, if both of Khalid's final twos were the wackiest of times, I'd say, as far as final twos go. Obviously the first time when it surprisingly tied because of hidden votes, and then Aaron Robertson had to make the final decision. And then the second time when we're like, Yarel, just make a decision. And you're like, all right, how do I tie it? And then Pernod is like, please don't make me have to make that decision.
For me, I was doing Molly's job that night. She had to leave, and I was the most stressed of going, oh, crap. Do I put this in the graph correctly? Like, it was just a stressful final, 3. Like, oh my God.
Honestly, I was sure that Pranay was gonna I was sure that Pranay was gonna make the decision for Halep to be the winner. So I was like, okay, do I want to make it myself or do I want Pranay to do it? Because I know it's gonna be the same result. But then I was like, it was not possible because you were pressuring me too much. Like these numbers and this thing, like, no.
I was like, we have been going for 7.5 hours, Urel. You're going to make a decision.
Like
I
was
just asked
like,
it for 10 seconds more. Just 10 seconds.
I know.
Like, and you're always like basically crying, like with just like emotion. And I was like, come on, this game is taking my whole life.
As timekeeper, time is important in the game.
I was almost crying. I was like, don't do this to me, please. Just let Pranay make the decision. I don't know what numbers I have to use. Please stop. It was so embarrassing, but it was fun. But oh my God, I hate numbers. I hate them.
Mm-hmm.
I want to state something that here's my favorite response of everyone for what they're going to do with $100. Kit Kats. You got to respect the man who loves Kit Kat. It's good candy.
Yeah. I mean, Reese's are way better, and I know that he won't like that answer, but they are.
So Ian left
Hershey's
the
are
broadcast.
better. Thank you.
Oh,
Did you just take me off?
I did, yeah. I don't know what I'm doing. There we go.
Do I have to reshare?
No, you're good. You're still there.
You're good.
Okay.
I just took you off. I took the share off.
Because of Reese's? Reese's are way better. What are you talking about?
We're not going to get there, okay?
I would take the Kit Kat any day.
What is a Reese's? Like, what's that?
The peanut butter cup. Chocolate.
And Kit Kats are the wafer ones. They're both delicious in different ways.
Speaking of great food, how about the food pyramid winner, Dana?
Icon, legend, star,
So,
the moment.
I'm not going to deny this.
Unbelievable game.
While watching her season, I don't think I've ever seen anyone more confused by the mechanics of the game and then win, but like win in a really good way. Like she was incredible.
But a lot of that was her strategy, though, was to say, oh, I'm not really understanding this. And then, with the using of, all of these different powers, as she mentioned, she had like 4 different advantages in the game. And she tried to just keep using them one after the other when it didn't really make any sense to be able to do so. And we're all like, what are you doing? But it was so funny that she did it. And then she talked about it as part of her game winning strategy of, I wanted you guys to think that I was not really understanding it or trying when I really did know. And then I was allowing everybody else to try and gun for each other during that time, making them seem like the big threats while I made myself in towards the end. And to me, that sounds a hell of a lot like two-time Survivor winner Sandra Diaz-Twine. And that's who I put Dana as. I think that makes total sense. She is sneaky, strategic, but also unassuming. Part of her strategy was pretending she did not know what was happening. Is that a game-winning strategy again, or is she willing to change it up? For these winners, I don't know. So that's going to be something for her to determine while she's in the game.
What's going to be fascinating is if she will actually be confused or be pretending to be confused.
No one will not know in this twist. That's all I'll say.
I love that gameplay. I love when people play dumb.
Yeah.
And some people think that I'm doing that with numbers, but that's not the case. I wish. But I love when people do that. Like,
I don't understand numbers either.
Mm-hmm.
Don't vote me out. Don't vote me out.
I know one thing we talked about earlier in this is the social versus strategic player, but I think Dana is just purely social, and she used that so people didn't put her at the bottom of the pyramid, and people wanted to keep her on just because she was being so jovial and very fun. So I think that's one of the social elements that's amazing to see is how you can get yourself not be at the bottom or get yourself in a set up to a strategic place of wanting to get past to at the correct time. She's amazing.
Her voice is so sweet that is you don't feel threatened. You don't feel that she's about to betray you or anything. You want her in the game with you. You want her until the end with you, because it's so sweet. It's like Holly. You don't see her stressed or anything. It's just I'm here. And keep me, and you do it. It's just okay. You want me to keep you? Okay, I'm doing it. You're here. She's so sweet.
And I loved the theme of this game. I will say it was probably I just loved the brainchild of coming up with a creative way to make it a food pyramid. For a reminder for everybody, signups are out there for a general interest form, and one of the questions in there is, would you want to play a fun game? I think I would definitely do the food pyramid one again, especially the advantages that we did of okay, we're going to do the, meat section. So one of the rooms is just an advantage room, and you just need to shout out every type of protein that you can think of. And one of them is a secret advantage. I loved that. I think I definitely want to do it again. For dairy, I know I did ice cream flavors, and people are just screaming pistachio, Rocky Road, all this stuff in a room, which I missed out on because I was in
no one was coming to my room in any round. The only round that a lot of people came to my room was the round that I have a power there.
Of course.
And then I was oh, the powers are someone have it already, and everyone leave, and then I have to close my room because no one was coming. I feel a little bit. I feel so.
That is just
what
rude.
we're trying to say is, if you see Urel in the game, visit Urel. That's it.
Yeah, absolutely, but not too long because you
Just
might
say
be
hi
talked
to
about
me.
in another room. All right, Mr. JD.
My dude.
JD. Third time's the charm.
Well, fourth time he did.
That's what I meant. Fourth time's the charm.
And obviously, with four
He's
times and then getting a winner, he's Boston Rob. It makes total sense, right? I mean, the evolution as well, and obviously I'm being a little bit over the top with this comparison, but I said that JD's evolution from being timid to change up the game to being the person calling the shots has been one of the best story arcs in this series. People worry when he's quiet and doesn't check in as much. So the biggest suggestion that I have is do exactly what you did in the most recent season, where you play boldly. I mean, and boldly to the point where who he's trying to keep and who he's trying to get rid of. I mean, it made sense for him. It worked so well for him. He maneuvered that game better than I have ever seen him maneuver a game before. And he's played a lot of them. But I remember just feeling so I went to bed with my heart so full because I was this is your first win. And I'm so happy that it's Pyramid Scheme because, obviously we have that bond together. He went out fourth and I went out fifth in our sequester game, our first one together. Obviously I do love and care for him so much. And so one of the best things was that, I know he had been wanting that opportunity. And seeing him actually getting so happy when he won it was one of the greatest stories that I've seen through this wonderful experience that I've had hosting this game.
Go Brooklyn, JD.
Anybody else who saw that game have any thoughts as well?
I think
I'll actually go first.
I was gonna say that game we had a lot of like elements that could have gone JD's way, like opposite of his way, with being like a last minute ad, not knowing his partner, not having time to pre-strategize. But the fact that he was able to come in and make those roads happen for him and finally get his pyramid scheme win, like, love to see it.
You guys remember he got the very first disadvantage of the game as well, and still managed to still get the power as the double agent early on, take out icons Nicole and Morgan, but that's okay. And then still was able to, survive up until that point. It was impeccable. It was impeccable. We can move on to Julie. So these were our 10 seasons. Originally, what I wanted to do was I wanted to have this upcoming Winners at War game, which I had planned out in my head, be a 10-person Winners at War game. But of course, one thing that I do love is the fact that, when we do other types of seasons, I'm at least going to put those people in as well. So one of the people that we did have was our Pyramid of Legends game. It was a Legends of the Hidden Temple spinoff that kind of combined a whole bunch of elements of a whole bunch of different games you've seen before. And then at the end, it was several rounds of Pyramid Scheme. We talked about it a little bit earlier.
And this is my favorite Final 2 ever. This is my favorite Final 2 in Pyramid Scheme history. Like, Alejandro's been a friend of mine for like several years now, and like that was like his first game where he did like really well. So like it was really amazing to see him and Jewel Andrews play so well and so hard.
Oh my God, I did not even see that. What the hell? Nobody has mentioned that to me except for right now. But, that's embarrassing.
Julie?
Julie's one of those people that will.
I think I must. This must not have been the. I made multiple ones of this. That sucks. Whatever. Okay.
But I'm probably the biggest Julie Andrews fan I know. Mm-hmm. I've been a fan of her since like round 2 of her initial sequester game. I think she's incredible. She's an amazing ally. She's somebody you don't want to go after. Like you don't want to be on her bad side. I'm so stoked to see her play this game.
Thoughts on who I have her as?
Natalie.
Everybody thinks Natalie.
No, it's not Natalie. Maybe Denise?
No, I didn't make anybody Denise.
Better, honestly.
I'm trying to think who's
Not
Amber.
No,
Julie is the calm but calculated Kim Spradlin.
Kim, how did I forget Kim?
I see that.
Kim, I love Kim.
Love Kim.
I think that this is going to be one of the most interesting stories that we're going to have in this game. I don't know whether or not she will struggle for having never played a full version of this game, but I don't see it being an issue for her because she is so cunning. She really understands how to take, the exact moment you're in and just make sure that you're surviving the next round, the next round, the next round. She, I think, worries herself that she's not being seen as the more out there player, but she knows how to turn it up at the right moment. I've never seen a situation where Julie isn't acting basically the same way in everything she's doing. She never has to, kind of ramp up the volume or anything like that. She really is about the same throughout her whole time. And that's a good calming presence that you're going to want to have, either on your side or, just to keep the status quo of the game, or so you think.
Playing games with Julie, like, you talk to her and you think everything's right and fine in the world, but really she might be targeting you. She might be pushing your name, and you don't know that because she's so serene and calm and like collected. I love that about Julie.
And her energy is so like good and positive. Like you're like, I want to play with her, and then you don't realize she's like actively stabbing you behind your back. Mm-hmm. Which hasn't happened to me, I don't think. But
I don't know. I've never played with her, so she's never stabbed me in the back or anything like that. And I don't know whether or not anybody even feels that betrayed by her.
No, that's beautiful.
Yeah, that's what I was gonna say. Like, even when people, like when she backstab people love that about her. And at the end, no one is against her because of that. Like, they get to the end and it's like, she's the winner. Like, she's my winner. It doesn't matter. Like, you backstab me, like you're winning this, and that's amazing. Like that's
just like him. It makes sense.
She's literally one of my favorite people in this community, and I'm so happy to cheer her on this weekend.
All right, I just have to say one thing when I press this one.
Humby. We love him.
Is he in the audience right now?
He was
icon.
earlier.
He
Humby.
might still be there. We don't know yet, but I'm
All
sure
right.
he'll comment.
Mr. Umberto, guesses as to who I have for him.
Someone fun, someone that you gravitate to for sure.
I'm trying to remember who we have left. I need the spreadsheet.
Not Nick Wilson.
He's someone who brings the fire.
Ben?
Brings the fire?
No, Ben's the Marine, not the firefighter.
Oh my God. Jeremy.
Jeremy Collins.
Not me saying Tony.
Yeah.
Tony's a police. Never mind.
That's what I was like. Oh, fire.
He's
fire.
everyone's favorite. He's likable to the point of being too likable. I mean, Humby was a dream casting choice for me because he's been such a fan of the show and of the different seasons that we've played. Getting him to be able to play the Latinx game, he said, obviously, this is the one game that I'd be willing to do. And people were so enamored by the fact that he was playing that he never even once came close to being a target. And that game, I know that Ferry Chavez says he should have won season 8, but I think that Ferry played a way better game in the Latinx game strategically. He was getting the advantages. He was using them correctly. He was going from the bottom to the top constantly, flip-flop, flip-flop. But at the end of the day, Humby said one thing to Carolina, and it was so like pristine the way that he said it. He said, Carolina, we have talked about this. We will never, ever betray each other unless it's to make sure that one of us wins a game. And this is that moment. I'm so sorry. Please understand that we have talked about this and I want to be able to have that opportunity. And like nothing Ferry said would be able to change that at that point. But I was so impressed with the way Ferry had played up until that point. And, seeing him get final 2 for the second time and losing, I felt so bad for Ferry. But
I feel bad too.
Nothing. That was the most perfect thing that Humby could have said in that moment to give. Carolina was like, yeah, I'm voting for Humby. I put as far as things that he needs to be aware of, will need to not have his guard up, relax, and play the same as he did last time. Make sure that he understands, that he is coming in being perceived as the incredibly likable person who could get a lot of those jury votes. So be aware of who you're putting in, the jury later versus earlier, etc. The whole 9 yards when it comes to this game. Anybody else have thoughts?
One of the things about Humby is he's so social, so likable. But one of the things that I remember about Humby the most I didn't watch his game, so I don't know his game. But the thing I know about Humby is we would be in the middle of a breakout round, and he'd say in the main audience, and go, "Why is Ian not doing this? He should have done this, this, and this if he wanted to be at the top of the thing to get this out." He understands the game so well as an audience member that it just translated so well to a winning game.
Exactly, but not me. You said Ian.
Oh no, I just said the wrong. I just picked the name. I picked the name.
I probably would do so badly if I ever played again. I know that like Andrew just played Summit recently. Good for him. I'm getting out so early. If I'm not first boot, I'm shocked.
The thing about Humby is he is a student of this game. He has been watching every season, I think, since 4.
Something like that,
probably.
Like I know, like the first time like an audience appeared was like I think season 4. I'm not sure, but like I know he's been watching every season because I've watched every season since my first season playing, which there was no audience for season 3. I know that for a fact. Mm-hmm. But I love this guy. He's great. He's also still in the chat. So.
Oh, okay. I'm gonna stop this so that I can look at what these messages say. Sergio calling me messy. Oh, Jeremy. Oh, good. I'm glad that everybody likes their picks. I tried to pick only the good people,
Like, so what are we able to talk about with Saturday coming up? I know there's a lot of things we can't talk about.
What I will say is that pretty soon I will be sending a message to everybody in that chat. There's going to be something that they're going to need to do before the game. That is going to be a important part of the game. And it will be important how efficiently they complete that task. And that's all I'm going to say. But we've got a little bit of time, and I know that we've been talking about it in our private chat right now, that there is, Ivan, who's in our game, is potentially going to be dealing with this ice storm that's hitting Texas. So if that happens, we're going to have to move things around and try and figure out stuff. But if the game is on and we're ready to go, this game might happen earlier than they think. And that is something that I can say right now. I know that a lot of people have been nervous leading up to this point.
Okay.
I don't know. What else, Mark?
I think you just need to go in and play, have fun. That's like rule number one of every game for me, is have fun. And this one especially, you're all winners. So like, you're all on the same level. So like, just go and have fun.
I will say that I did a Brant steal of this just because I was, that curious as to like who might do well. And it was somebody who I think has a very good shot. And then the other person that I thought has a very good shot was first boot of that Brant steal. And I've also been wrong in all of my Brant steals. Every single one of my Brant steals I've done.
What season do you do?
I was wrong. I just do like based on like however many would go in. And I usually do either like a Big Brother or something like that. But like season 8, I did JD. But then JD ended up winning. So maybe like, you'll lose the one that I say that you're going to win, but then you'll win a different one at a later point. So sign up for Generation 2. But I'm wrong every single time. JD was the winner of season 8. Trav was the winner of season 9, and then Dr. Stan was the winner of season 10. So like none of them have been correct so far.
Oh no, Dr. Stan was not correct at all.
Not me being a Brand Steel without my knowledge. The only Brand Steel I can be on is Mark's one. Thank you.
Let's discuss, because we're on Mark's call right now, this disgustingness that Ashley Keenan's Brand Steel character gives to this world. It's disgusting.
Ashley was trying to comfort me in the game that I won.
Disgusting. She's such a snake in these games. Disgusting. She's so loyal in regular games, but these Brant Steel, Keenan's Brant Steel's character will flip on you in a heartbeat, and you'll watch it.
You gave a middle name.
She tried it with me.
I heard you say Brian.
Yeah.
Ian, if I look at my records, I've done better than you than every single Brand Steel, so I'm not mad.
Yeah, I'm not that good at Brand Steel, but regardless, we always align, and then you target me like right afterward for no reason.
Okay, well, you know what? You know you're three gonna be invited, and Molly will be also invited to my Brand Steel this weekend. You know that.
Mark, I gave a little bit of hints now. Maybe we'll give more hints later, but I think I want to move on because I know that it's been an hour and a half, and I want to let everybody kind of move along with their day. There's just one more thing I wanted to talk about today.
Sure.
If you don't mind. It's just a little special announcement. As we've mentioned, guys, we did have a practice round of this game. And the winner of that game was Mark. And one thing that I've talked about, right, because I even did this with a 5-person game, right, and one of those people is going to be in our Winners at War game. Mark, you played such a phenomenal game in that game. And one thing that I wanted to do on your stream right now is surprise you and let you know that we've all agreed on prod that you are going to be the first winner of Generation 2 of Pyramid Scheme. You will be in our second Winners at War.
Yes!
How you should be done?
No.
Yeah.
Oh, fuck you. Oh, no. I'm crying right now.
Yes. Surprise.
Surprise. We love you so much, Mark.
Oh, my God.
You did that.
I wanted to make sure that you knew, because every single time you're like, it didn't mean anything. And I'm like, wait until he knows.
I mean, it was like the hardest fought win I've ever had, like in my entire life. And meant so much just because it was like the most amazing cast ever. Like, yeah. Wow, I'm actually literally crying right now.
I figured you.
That's why we put it at the
end. Wow. Okay. Cool. Awesome.
I even I was worried that you had seen it too, because I had wrote on the Zoom game calendar for all the hosts that like I would be doing Generation 2 Season 2, and I was like, wait, I can't write that right now because like he might ask where's Season 1 and all that stuff, and I'm like, shit, like Mark 1. So yeah. But congratulations, we wanted to tell you. And obviously, once you guys actually see this game, you'll understand why it was so crazy a maneuver and why Mark was absolutely more than deserving of having this.
I literally cannot wait till I can actually talk about what my
same.
Maybe we'll do 2 after shows and talk about it.
Like for us that played it a month and a half ago.
Oh my gosh, was it that long already? Yikes.
Before leaving, I want to ask every single one of you a question. Which people we want to see playing in the second generation of Pyramids game?
Who do we want to see? Gosh, I feel like there's a ton of new people in the community that I'd love to see. I'm gonna throw it to the international. The winner of EQ Upside Down. I want Kai to play. Kai's amazing.
Oh, she's great.
Okay.
I want to see. There's a whole bunch of people I've been meeting because of Banishment. Because we're doing a lot of production work for Banishment. Last night we crowned a new winner, Shelby, who's played 4 games ever, and this made jury every time. It's like literally my favorite people to watch that I've just discovered. There's this amazing woman, Genevieve, who's played Banishment a couple times.
Ooh, yeah.
Who's incredible, and so cutthroat if you're on the bad side for her. Who else I want to see? I want to see Donjo play because he hasn't played a chance to play this yet.
Donjo.
Who else do I really want to see?
I want to see Henry.
Yeah.
Playing.
Which Henry?
Henry from overseas? Or Henry?
He have been playing Banishment. Henry.
British Henry. Yeah.
Yeah,
like,
he was second place in High Rise. I want to
that.
see him play in Pyramids game. And, of course, I need my Rob Queen Amneris to play again. My best friend.
Yes.
My everything.
Tech evac, and we need her back.
My baby Amneris. Like, I am trying to convince her to play some things. And I'm saying here, Mark, Ian, Ashley, please help me to convince Amneris to play.
You know I've been in her DMs on URL. You know that.
I know.
For that reason. Yeah.
Can I throw out a few? Because I'm just like, I'm feeling bold right now.
I want Geneva.
Yeah.
I need Geneva.
Oh, Geneva.
Would love to have Geneva. Yeah, I would love to have Geneva on. We're in talks.
Okay.
So
Whoa.
yes, yeah, no, it's fine. But Mark, you have a lot of good connects here on MarkTalk. So maybe if people listen all the way up until this point, let's get Karishma on here. Come on. Like, I would love to see Karishma outsmart people in this game. That would be phenomenal. And then I don't know if Humby's still in chat because I know that he has the RHAP connects. I would love to see people like Puya, Aman, or Taryn play this game.
I know some of those too, but I also know like Jordan Kalish.
Get an RHAP-esque, any of them.
Oh, yeah. Again, a reminder, anybody interested should be filling out our general interest form. And we're doing recruit only, but we will find games that we think will work best for everybody. I want to try and get all sorts of fun and exciting games. I already have 3 I'm working on down the pipeline. And I can just talk about it because I already mentioned Geneva's name. I might as well. We are working on getting a game of all people who have played College Survivor to come and join and play with us. That is in the works. Depending on whether or not we need to postpone because of the Texas ice storm, my hope is that it will be in just a few weeks' time. So more to come on that. I'm excited. This has been such a fun time talking to you guys, so I wanted to announce it anyway. But we're in the works of trying to make sure that works out for our game as well. And then a few more things are down the pipeline, and I definitely am excited to show you guys where we're heading.
Nice.
Yeah.
Awesome. Anything else you want to bring up besides for of course, the most important thing? As of right now, Saturday, February 20th, 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. My half birthday and my mom's actual birthday. You can watch it on 3 different channels. You'll see this on my Twitch and my YouTube for commentary. And Brandon, Monster Cat Woo.
And I think the only other thing that I just want to make sure that I get a chance to say is that obviously we can't do this without all of you guys and without continuous support. If you guys want to see new and fresh faces and new and fun and exciting times, I hate to be like a pyramid scheme, but go and tell a few friends.
Tell 5 of your closest friends, and they'll tell 5 of their closest friends, and then their 5 closest friends, and then we've got a game.
I can't wait to see where we are. I mean, we just reached 500 followers today. I can't wait to see where we are by the end of Generation 2. Continue to just be supportive and be the amazing, wonderful people you are. This has been such an amazing thing that we've been able to all do through quarantine.
Something that I want to do
Yeah.
is a season full of Puerto Ricans. Like that's what I'm trying to
Ooh,
convince my friends
yes.
to play
Yes.
Pyramid's game, like a season just for them. and
Yo voy
for
a tratar
Puerto
de
Rican-
hablar todo en español, pero va a ser difícil.
And of course, please follow everyone else that's on this panel right now at Ian Dembling, Ashley McKeon. You're all at Yavila's PR. So think we'll have you guys here as always because you guys are some of my favorite people. Yeah. Anything else you want
He
to say
says
before
that
I
to everybody, but I still get so excited when he says that.
I like people. It's a real thing for me. You just made me cry at my own stream after having a very emotionally taxing day. So it was very, very nice.
Your power.
But yeah, no, I've been excited about this game for a really, really long time. I love being in production for it so much.
And now you're
Yeah.
a winner, and you're going to be on Winners at War too, my buddy.
Yes.
We love to. Oh
Also-
no, my camera off. We love.
You're
to
always
see
like, I'm
it.
done.
You all just quit. I want to also plug things for the show for this stream. So our next thing is going to be our Brant Steel Day. Y'all are invited. Molly's invited to be on it. Urel wants his second win.
I
and
need it.
Ian and
You need to fight Ian.
Yeah, put me on. Might as well.
Yes.
After that first boot in Winners at War, not this. I need my second win.
A game with 10
Also-
Ians and 10 Ashley.
Which Ashley though? Ashley Jordan again? I mean, that was. Oh,
You
know.
should
We
do
gotta
it
fight.
with us, please.
I'm
wasn't
going
Ashley
after
Jordan.
Brant Steele, Ashley Keenan every time.
I have
I
publicly
wanna-
posted it.
Also, of course, Mark Meets World has a new episode where we talk about the puberty-infused Halloween episode of season 2, where Corey turns into a werewolf, or is he just having puberty? And coming up, because I do love doing these, and these are making me so freaking happy to do all these episodes. Got a really fun week scheduled. I got Rob back. We're doing Castaway on Monday at 4 o'clock.
Yes.
Castaway is a game that's got a very special place in my heart. And next Wednesday night, also Dark Horse with Santi. I'm so excited.
Nice.
Dark Horse. I was the first Dark Horse at the end of the first game because
This is
Dark
being
Horse-
streamed on Wednesday night?
Yeah. That'll be next one. That'll be next week. Yeah,
I can't
Yeah.
wait. I haven't gotten a chance to watch any yet. I'm very excited about that.
it's gonna be really fun. Like it's always a really fun game, and it's always happy to support good games. And thank you
And
guys.
seriously,
for
thank
being-
you so much for doing this, Mark. I obviously this was partially because I was like, "Hey, Mark, do a recap of Winners at War before we do it." But I'm so glad that you reached out to all the other game hosts and making everybody feel included, welcome, and obviously it's getting the word out to the right people to be able to play more games in the future.
Yeah, and thank you guys for watching. Also, we had up to 20 people at one point tonight, which is pretty freaking cool in my book. And I will see you guys on Friday at 4 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Have a good day, guys.
Wait.
Bye.